Some people tried to make you look bad. They wanted others to misunderstand you, to twist your image, and to create doubt about who you really are. At first, it may have felt like small things were happening around you, quiet gossip, subtle comments, or people suddenly acting distant. It felt like someone was trying to slowly build a false story about you, hoping it would grow in other people's minds until it became believable. But there's a strong energy around you now, like the Emperor, showing that you are protected by structure, truth, and authority. You are not someone who can be easily shaken by chaos or false stories. You carry a quiet strength, a sense of control over your life, and a dignity that others naturally notice. Even if people try to question you, your grounded nature speaks louder than any rumor. In the beginning, there may have been real emotional pain involved, like Three of Swords energy. Misunderstandings, betrayal, or hurtful words may have created heartbreak or confusion. It may have felt like people you trusted or spaces you felt safe and suddenly changed. That pain was real, and it did affect you deeply at some point. But you did not stay stuck in it. Instead of letting it destroy you, you started rebuilding yourself. You slowly stepped into a stronger mindset where you stopped depending on other people's approval. This is where the energy of the Chariot comes in. You took control of your direction again. Even while facing negativity, confusion, or emotional pressure, you kept moving forward. You did not let the situation pull you off your path. You chose discipline, focus, and self-respect over reaction and chaos. The people who tried to create a false image of you expected you to break down or constantly defend yourself. They thought you would chase explanations, try to prove your innocence, or become emotionally unstable under pressure. But instead, you moved forward with control. You didn't allow yourself to be pulled into their story, and that made their efforts lose power. As time passed, something unexpected happened. Instead of people turning against you, they started paying closer attention to you directly. And when they did, they saw something completely different from what they were told. They saw stability instead of confusion. They saw maturity instead of chaos. They saw someone who carries themselves with strength and balance. This is where a softer energy appears too, Two of Cups. Because despite everything that was said or tried, genuine connections around you did not fully break. In fact, real people began to recognize your true nature more clearly. Honest relationships either became stronger or began to form in new ways. People who are meant for you emotionally can still sense your truth, even without words. There is a natural alignment in your energy that cannot be erased by gossip or misunderstanding. What was once meant to create separation ended up revealing who is truly aligned with you and who is not. False connections faded, while real ones became clearer. People started to feel your sincerity when they interacted with you directly, instead of relying on secondhand stories. And the most important shift is this: you stopped shrinking yourself. You stopped trying to control how everyone sees you. You accepted that not everyone will understand you, and that is okay. That acceptance is part of your strength now. Like the Emperor, you stand firm. Like the Chariot, you keep moving forward. And even with the pain of Three of Swords in your past, you did not let it define your future. People talking about you always seems to change the atmosphere. It's like the moment your name comes up, something shifts. Some people feel uncomfortable, some get curious, and others become strangely focused on you without even realizing why. The truth is, a lot of people have started noticing something different about you. They can sense that you are real and genuine. You don't put on a fake image, and you don't try to act like someone you're not. Even when people misunderstood you or spoke badly about you, you still carried yourself with dignity. You stayed calm, composed, and confident. That quiet strength made a bigger impact than anything anyone tried to say against you. People watch more than just words. They observe behavior, energy, and consistency. And in your case, what they saw didn't match the negative stories some people tried to spread. You didn't react in a messy or destructive way. You didn't lose control or try to prove yourself through chaos. Instead, you protected your peace. You became more careful about who you gave your energy to, and you stepped back from situations that felt draining or unfair. That shift changed everything. Some people were used to getting reactions from you. They were used to seeing emotional responses, arguments, or attention whenever they pushed your buttons. In a way, they were feeding off your reactions. It made them feel powerful or in control when they could affect your mood or disturb your peace. But that no longer works. You stopped giving that access. You stopped reacting in the way they expected. And because of that, they felt confused and frustrated. It's like they are trying the same old patterns, but nothing is working anymore. They can still see you, but they can't reach you emotionally the way they used to. That connection they relied on is gone, and now they are left trying to figure out what changed. Some of them are still watching you closely. They check your social media, look at your photos, and try to gather information about your life. Some even ask mutual people about you, trying to understand how you are still moving forward with confidence after everything that happened. What confuses them the most is your growth. They don't understand how you still seem strong, calm, and even happier than before. There is something different in your presence now. Your energy feels lighter, more balanced, and more self-assured. Even your expression, your body language, and the way you carry yourself feels transformed. In some cases, even people close to you or from your past may have been influenced by misunderstandings or false stories. There may have been attempts to make others see you in a negative way. This could have involved family members, old connections, or people from your past who misunderstood your journey. But over time, those narratives didn't hold up. When people actually observed you directly, they saw the truth for themselves. They saw that you are not what was being said. Instead, they saw someone who has grown stronger, more self-aware, and more grounded in who they are. Someone who doesn't easily fall into drama or chaos anymore. Someone who has learned to protect their peace and focus on their own path. And that is what changed everything. Now, many of the same people who once doubted you are left questioning their own assumptions. Some even admire you quietly, even if they don't say it openly. Because deep down, they realize there is something powerful about the way you've handled everything. You didn't break under pressure. You evolved through it. And now your presence speaks for itself. Some people try to misunderstand you or talk about you in a negative way. It may have come from their own insecurity or inner confusion, not from who you truly are. At some point, you may have triggered something in them just by being calm, confident, and not reacting the way they expected. When they couldn't get the reaction they wanted, it created frustration in them, and things may have started to spiral on their side. But what's important is this: you didn't fall into the same energy. You didn't chase drama or return negativity. Instead, you stayed composed and kept your distance from the chaos. And that alone changed everything. When people couldn't pull you into arguments or emotional reactions, their influence slowly lost power. Whatever story they were trying to build about you started to fall apart because your actions didn't match their words. There were moments when they tried to project their issues onto you, but it didn't stick anymore. It was like their attempts were hitting a wall. You weren't playing into it, and because of that, their impact weakened. Over time, even others began to notice that something didn't add up. People can usually sense energy, and yours remained steady and grounded despite everything going on around you. Instead of becoming bitter or angry, you continued focusing on yourself. That shift in your energy made a difference. You started to come across as more peaceful, more self-aware, and emotionally stable. People noticed that you didn't let negativity change who you are. And whether they admitted it or not, many quietly respected that strength. Some people who once doubted you may have even started reconsidering their opinion. When they saw that you weren't reacting with anger or revenge, but instead handling things with maturity, it created a different picture of you. You weren't proving anything to anyone, you were simply being yourself. and that authenticity stood out more than anything else. At the same time, there were also people silently observing from a distance who began to support you in their own way. They may not have spoken directly to you, but they recognized your energy and how you carried yourself. In situations where others were speaking negatively, some quietly defended you or refused to agree with the negativity being spread. Even if you never heard about it directly, that support still existed in the background. What's powerful is that your calm response didn't just protect you, it also exposed the truth of the situation. Over time, it became clearer who was reacting emotionally and who was staying balanced. People can eventually tell when something is forced versus when someone is genuinely stable and sincere. You may not even realize how many people now view you differently compared to before. Some respect you more than ever because you didn't allow yourself to be pulled down to a lower level. Instead, you stayed aligned with your own peace. That kind of emotional control is rare, and it naturally shifts how others perceive you. Even those who once tried to create misunderstandings may now be sitting with their own thoughts, realizing things didn't go the way they expected. When negativity doesn't produce results, it often turns back on the source. And in this case, your silence and strength spoke louder than anything else. There is also a sense that you've grown through all of this. You didn't just survive the situation, you evolved from it. You became more aware, more grounded, and more connected to your own inner stability. That growth is something nobody can take away from you. People around you are starting to notice something very different about your energy. Some are speaking about you in a negative way, while others are stepping in to defend you. Either way, your name is being talked about, and your presence is not something people can ignore anymore. You are entering a new season of your life where people are finally beginning to see who you truly are. Not the version they assumed, not the stories they told themselves, but the real you. And the real you carries something powerful. You are calm, intuitive, and emotionally strong. There is something very peaceful about your energy, yet at the same time, it is deeply powerful. You don't easily fit into what others expect. You are unique, different, and not someone who can be copied or replaced. A lot of what shaped you came from your past. You went through situations that could have easily broken you. You were tested in ways that could have made you cold or bitter. But instead of letting that happen, you grew wiser. You learned from what you went through, and because of that, your energy feels different now. There is strength in you that comes from experience, not just words. You have also gone through a strong inner transformation. People are noticing it. There's a glow about you now, not just in how you look, but in how you carry yourself. Your confidence, your energy, and your emotional stability have all changed. You are becoming more aware of yourself, more spiritually connected, and more focused on your own growth. Because of this change, people who once doubted you are now confused. Someone may have even expected you to fall apart or struggle, but instead, you evolved. You grew stronger. You healed. And now that you are standing in your power, others don't know how to react to it. Your growth has made a strong impression, even on those who didn't want to see you succeed. A big part of your change also comes from your boundaries. You are no longer allowing people to drain your energy or take advantage of your kindness. You have learned to protect your peace. You no longer try to fix everyone or carry problems that are not yours. Instead, you meet people where they are and protect your own space first. This shift has brought more respect into your life. There is also a calm authority in your energy now. You don't have to try hard to prove anything. People can feel your presence when you walk into a room. You are more grounded, more selective, and more aware of who deserves your time. At the same time, your transformation has not only been emotional, but also energetic. Your frequency has shifted. You are more aligned with yourself than before. You may even notice that you are more sensitive to energy, music, and your environment. Things affect you differently now because you are operating on a higher level of awareness. Some people may have tried to bring you down or create obstacles in your path, but instead of being destroyed by it, you simply moved forward. You didn't let it break you. You didn't let it define you. You let it pass and continued growing. That alone has changed how people see you. Now there is attention on you. Some of it comes from curiosity, some from admiration, and some from people who are still trying to understand how you became so strong and peaceful at the same time. But one thing is clear: your growth is undeniable. You are in a phase where your life is shifting, your energy is rising, and your presence is becoming more powerful. The version of you that people once underestimated is no longer there. You have become someone who stands firm in who you are, and that is exactly what is changing everything around you.